Have you ever wondered how much it would cost to sell your home? How do you get your home ready to sell? Did you want to try to sell it yourself or hire an agent to list it? Will you be able to buy another home while you're selling your current home? We're going to go over all of these items today, and at the end of the video, I'll give you 5 tips on how to get the best price for your house right now. Okay, so after years of talking about it, you finally decided to get serious about selling your home. So you may want to downsize, you may want to upsize. You may want to get away from all of the flies that your neighbors are bringing you with their 4 horses. You may even want to get out of town where you'll be closer to, or perhaps further away from your family. So let's go over 3 key things that you need to know to sell your house and make that move. First, get your home ready to sell. So markets change, and you need to know what the market is in your area before you sell. In the Salt Lake area in late 2021 and 2022, you could sell your home with very little effort. You could stick a sign out front and put your home for sale by owner on the internet and sell it with no problem. And you didn't really have to fix up your home very much, maybe paint it a little bit. Then in June of 2022, everything changed. All of a sudden, it was like in a week. And none of this worked anymore. Sellers were dropping their price every other day. And sellers were even offering to pay closing costs, appraisals, and even offering agents special incentives to show their homes. So you need to find out what the local market is and whether you are in a seller's market or a buyer's market. You could even be in a normal market in which there's a sufficient number of homes for the buyers, but not an excess. Now, I doubt we'll go back to the incredible seller's market of 2021 or early 2022 because we're no longer having artificially low interest rates of 3%. And like gasoline prices, home mortgage interest rates have almost doubled. Added to that is the fact that we're experiencing a much higher inflation rate than we were before 2022. If you're in a buyer's market, you will see the inventory of homes increase and prices drop. A buyer will have many choices of homes to buy, and you need to make your home better than the other options out there, at least equal. That means that you need to fix all of the items that you've been putting off for a while. The house has to look and smell nice. Clean out your rooms as much as you can and either store the extra stuff you have or put it in the garage. Now, buyers know that you're moving, so they will understand that the garage is full of stuff and furniture and houses and boxes. As long as you can see all around the garage to see how big it is, you're fine. Make sure that the outside of the house is attractive because a buyer may have 10 homes to go out and see. And if your yard has not been cleaned up, they may just drive by and go on to the next house. It really won't matter how nice your home is on the inside. They just may drive by and never see it. Should you list your home or try to sell it yourself? So unless you've sold several homes by yourself, I always recommend using a realtor to sell your home. So typically a full service listing will cost you about 6%, and this listing fee will pay both agents. The seller has their own closing costs, which will vary on the time of the year that they close, and if there are any HOA transfer fees or reinvestment fees to worry about. But a good rule of thumb is that you can assume that you as a seller will need to pay about 1% of your proceeds at closing to cover your closing costs, plus the realtor commissions. These are items like year-to-date property taxes, title insurance, doc fees, prep fees, etc. A full service listing usually includes professional photography, advanced marketing, postcards around the neighborhood, marketing to out-of-state buyers, open houses, and door knocking, etc. Usually you can negotiate with your realtor to a certain extent regarding the cost, but at some point you'll be moving from a full service listing to a minimal service listing. In a hot seller's market, it takes less marketing to sell your home, but in a normal or a buyer's market, it takes a lot of marketing to sell your home at the highest price. There are some services out there that imply they can sell your home for a couple $100s. Now, usually those services are just putting your home on the MLS and nothing more. Be sure to know exactly what they're offering. These services are not paying the buyer's agent, by the way, so you need to add that into your total cost. Or you could try to sell your home yourself, say for sale by owner. So what that usually turns out to be is just posting your home on Zillow or some other service, and then taking 100 phone calls from agents, flat rate listing services, lowball cash investors, and a few real buyers. The National Association of Realtors have done extensive research and have come up with data that you almost always make more money when you use an agent to list your home. What is an interesting fact that I've seen is that about 90% of the sellers who advertise their home for sale by owner end up listing their home with an agent. And that's why most of your phone calls are from realtors. So it can be done, but you need to weigh the pluses and minuses. As I have found out in my life, you most often get what you pay for, unless the planets are perfectly aligned on that particular day. Now, once you find a buyer, there's something to consider. There are many things that can go wrong in the selling process, and you are legally bound in many ways in that process. Worst case is that you could lose thousands of dollars by doing it wrong, or get sued for not doing it right. Your experienced agent has probably sold hundreds of homes and has probably seen all the ways that a transaction can get messed up. For example, how would you handle a buyer who needs to sell their home before they can buy yours? And then you find out too late that the buyer of your buyer's home also needs to sell their home first, so it can go down the line. So in summary of this section, unless you've sold your home yourself before, I always recommend having your own agent to help you sell your home. Can I buy another house while selling my current house? Well, the answer is yes, but it depends. It depends on what your lender tells you, and it depends on the market. Obviously, if you can pay cash for a new home without having to sell your current home, then that's the best option. But more often, you'll need to sell your home first, or at least simultaneously. One note, you may be able to rent your home out to a renter and use a portion of that rent toward qualifying for a new house. I see this mostly with sellers who have a townhome as a starter home and then they wanted to upsize to a regular house. But you need to check with your lender on that option. So let's talk about a normal transaction in which you are selling your home and want to buy another one with a minimum of homelessness in between. This is where it's best to have your own agent handle both the selling of your home and the buying of your new home. One tip if you're moving out of town is to use a national brokerage and have your selling agent refer you to a good agent in the city you want to move to. In this way, you can coordinate both the sale and purchase more easily. Now, your offer on another home will be contingent upon selling your current home. This is a complex transaction, but it's done all the time. The first step is to list your home with an agent. Now, it's not impossible to buy a home while trying to sell your home yourself, but fewer sellers will accept your contingent offer unless it's listed with a realtor, because it increases the risk that you will need to cancel your offer if you cannot sell your home yourself. Even if you're listed with an agent, there's still a risk to the seller of the home you want to buy. So many sellers will accept your contingent offer, but put you on a time clause. Now, what this means is if the seller gets another offer that is more solid than yours, they can exercise the time clause for you to remove your contingency. This is usually a 72-hour time clause. So unless you have a pretty solid offer on your home, it would be risky to remove that contingency that you have to sell your home first. But there are many more areas that your agent and the agent for the home you want to buy need to coordinate. As I said, it's complex, but it's done all the time. Final note on this subject, in a hot seller's market, most sellers would rather not accept a contingent offer because there are too many risks of the buyer not being able to close. But in a normal market or a buyer's market, the sellers are more likely to look at a contingent offer. So here are 5 tips in selling your home. In a declining market, do not chase the curve downward. In other words, price your home at or slightly below the market value of your home today. If you are priced too high, the buyer will move on to another house. They may not just make an offer if they think your home is not even close to where it should be price-wise. They either do not want to insult you or may think that there's no chance in the world that you'll sell it where it should be sold. Another tip, get rid of tobacco and pet smells. Work a month before you sell your home to do everything you can to mitigate these smells. You can lose 50% of the buyers as soon as they walk in the front door. Appraisers will look at recent solds to value your home, but in a declining or expanding market, you need to price your home where homes are recently going under contract. For example, if a similar home down the street just went under contract at $500, then there's a pretty good chance that they were close enough to get an offer. Now, whatever that offer is, you really won't know until it closes, but at least you'll know that you're close enough. Be sure to watch my video on getting your home ready to sell. And if I can ever help you, please let me know. Give me a call, 801-243-7804. Thanks. Have a great day.